A very warm welcome to all our viewers and welcome to a new episode of Africa Today, our program bringing all the latest news and events happening inside the African continent. My name is Angie Meher and as usual I'll be joining you for Tuesday's episode, and we begin straight away with a look at the news making the headlines, where we begin with China's new foreign minister who is starting his term with a week-long trip to 5 African countries. Qin Gang, who was until recently ambassador to the United States, will visit Ethiopia, Gabon, Benin and Egypt from January the 9th until the 16th. We have more details in this report.
To deepen the China-Africa Comprehensive Strategic and Cooperative Partnership and boost friendly cooperation between China and Africa, the Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang will visit Ethiopia, Gabon, Angola, Benin, Egypt, the African Union headquarters and the League of Arab States headquarters upon invitation from January 9 to 16. This is the 33rd consecutive year that Africa has been the destination of Chinese foreign minister's annual first overseas visit. Qin was until recently ambassador to the United States. In Egypt, Qin will also meet the Secretary General of the Arab League. The new foreign minister is following in the footsteps of his predecessor, who have for more than 3 decades started each year with a trip to Africa. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said the tour shows that China attaches great importance to the traditional friendship with Africa and the development of China-Africa ties. Qin, 56, was appointed foreign minister on December 30th. He succeeded Wang Yi, 69, who has replaced Yang Jiechi as the government's top foreign policy official. Wang's new position has not been announced, but a recent article by him on the Foreign Ministry website described him as director of ruling Communist Party's Foreign Affairs Office, the post that Yang held.
And continuing with more news, Cairo and Mogadishu signed a number of memorandums of understanding on higher education, cultural cooperation, as well as media in Cairo. This came during a visit to Egypt by Somalia's Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre. The details.
Cairo and Somalia signed on Monday a number of MOUs in various fields of cooperation, including higher education, media, and cultural and religious cooperation. The signing came during a visit by Somalia Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre and a high-level delegation to Cairo. The MOU on higher education reportedly aims to boost cooperation between Egyptian and Somali higher education institutions and universities and to exchange educational delegations. According to the program, Cairo will offer 450 scholarships annually for Somali students. Officials said that under the MOU, the two countries will set up research teams. Furthermore, Cairo said it is willing to provide Somalia with experts and doctors to revamp the Somali National University and its medicine faculty. An MOU on cultural cooperation was also signed. As per the MOU, the two sides will hold exhibitions for fine arts and traditional crafts and festivals, and will organize visits for artists in the fields of theater, music and folklore. Furthermore, Cairo and Mogadishu said they will enhance cinema cooperation by exchanging movies and visits by those who are working in the field of cinema. They said they will also work on intensifying participation in film festivals. Somalia will also be welcome to participate in book fairs held in Egypt every year. 2 MOUs were signed to promote media cooperation with both the Egyptian National Media Authority and State Information Service. Another MOU was signed between the Ministry of Religious Endowments and the Somali Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs. The MOU, which will be effective until 2026, primarily aims to enhance cooperation between the ministries in the two countries in the cultural and religious spheres.
We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone this afternoon as our guest with His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former Assistant to Foreign Minister. It's a very good afternoon to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir, and thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Ambassador. Of course, the Chinese new foreign minister is starting his term with a long week trip to the African continent, and one of his stops is Egypt. How do you weigh the level of ties between Cairo and Beijing in light of the upcoming visit by the Chinese foreign minister?
It is one of the oldest relations for Egypt with any country in the world. This comes even before the establishment of Suez Canal. This, since what we call the Silk Road. The Silk Road was coming in the ocean, coming in the Red Sea, and the silk products were sent through Suez, sent from Suez on camels till Damietta, my city, and then to Europe. And the silk by that time was very expensive. They sell it for its weight of gold. And there, I am proud to say, because I am from Damietta myself, that the silk industry stayed in Egypt, in Cairo, in Damietta exactly. So since I was a young child, I have seen how Damiettians are making the Chinese silk. Since then, we have this relation. But let me come to the recent history. During Gamal Abdel Nasser and Mao Zedong, Egypt was the first country in the third world who recognized the Republic of China, and we were blamed for that. We were punished by a tripartite aggression by Britain, France, and Israel. Since then, we give weight to our relations with China, and they know how Egypt sacrificed for them. And I always give this example to say that Egypt was always right, and whoever differ with us, he regrets this after years, because the United States were blaming us, China, to we are for foreign policy was always right. Those who make a difference with us, they follow our road after 50 years. We wait very much the Chinese relations. It's the largest partner for the Arab world.
Yes.
It's a big and important partner for Egypt. And I think we can double our efforts in order to make this relation even better.
Absolutely.
So China agreed to the initiative of the presidency of the African Union, where we were asking the donors to come and invest in the finance coming from the developed countries. And China is the first who is implementing this initiative. Japan also agreed upon that. The European Union officially agreed to help investment in Africa with the Egyptian experience.
Yes,
So it's a long story, and I think we have a good future to be followed. And I hope, inshallah, that this will bring more and more results to the sake of our young generation who are seeking production, who are seeking jobs to create. And this is the road we are going ahead with our friends in China and other friends in the whole world.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Ambassador, you mentioned a very important issue, which is the relationship and the ties between China as well as Egypt, as well as the African continent as a whole. And we've seen the Belt and Road Initiative, which has been implemented by China in African states. How do you see this initiative changing the economic weight and distribution of the world?
It is very important also because it's a new way to approach Africa. I have served in Africa several times, and I know that the direct colonialism time is finished. But now we have a sort of economic colonialism. You cannot buy wood or timber or whatever Africa is selling unless you buy it through European capitals, and then the price will be much higher. So I came from Africa with experience. If you want to trade with Africa, you have to invest in Africa. This is my message to those who are responsible for taking decisions in this domain. And I think Egypt and China now are cooperating with this file, and this will bring many results for both countries.
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Your Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you very much, sir, for your time and your insight. And wrapping up our edition of Africa Today, our final report coming from Uganda, which is set to declare the end of the latest Ebola outbreak. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, an outbreak of the disease ends when there are no new cases for 42 consecutive days, which is twice the incubation period of Ebola. We have more details in this report.
Uganda said it was expecting to declare an end to an Ebola virus outbreak that emerged late last year and has claimed the lives of at least 56 people. If no new case is reported by Tuesday, the Health Ministry said it would formally announce the end of the outbreak on Wednesday. According to the World Health Organization, an outbreak of the disease ends when there are no new cases for 42 consecutive days, twice the incubation period of Ebola. Health Ministry spokesman Emmanuel Ainebiona said in an invitation to journalists that the declaration ceremony will take place in the central district of Mubende, the epicenter of the outbreak. Since the Ugandan authorities declared the latest outbreak in Mubende on September 20th, the East African nation has registered 142 confirmed cases and 56 deaths, with the disease spreading to the capital Kampala. The last confirmed patient was discharged from hospital on November 30th, according to health officials. The outbreak has been caused by the Sudan strain of the virus, for which there is currently no vaccine. But 3 candidate vaccines, one developed by Oxford University and the Jenner Institute in Britain, another from the Sabien Vaccine Institute in the US, and a third from the International AIDS Vaccine Initiative IAVI, are being trialed in Uganda. Ebola is an often fatal viral fever. The disease is named after a river in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where it was discovered in 1976. Human transmission is through body fluids, with the main symptoms being fever, vomiting, bleeding, and diarrhea. Outbreaks are difficult to contain, especially in urban environments.
And with that, we wrap up this afternoon's edition of Africa Today. We do hope you have enjoyed it. Join us again tomorrow, just after 2 p.m. for a new episode. Till then, you're in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Thank you for watching.